Are your steps ordered? Which is a topic for today. And so in this video, we're going to get into what are steps you should engage into and what are steps you should not engage into, kind of that thought process behind it. And I'm also going to share with you some steps that I used to do that I don't do anymore, and some steps that I do every single day in terms of manifesting. So it's the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my 4 manifesting steps to manifest everything. And it's not something I created, it came from someone else. So I'm looking forward to share that with you at the end of this video. So, are your steps ordered? This came to me because I was having a conversation with a friend who is absolutely the smartest person I know. And she was dating a guy, and she has a 3-month rule. January, February, March. And that's where this series happened. And so she met this guy. It seemed like things were going well. And she was like very, very happy. And she was infatuated. And so was he. And everybody met this person. But after the first month, she realized that this person was not the best fit for her. But yet, still, because she had this 3-month rule, this 3-step process, January, February, March, she stuck out 3 months with this person to follow her process, her steps, when she knew it was very clear that after the first month, he wasn't the fit for her. It was just a bunch of things. He wasn't sensitive enough. He was emotionally unavailable. He would cut her off in conversations. He would take over all of the events. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and he did not care what she wanted to do. And so while we were having this conversation, I said something to the effect of, maybe next time you could end it at the first month. And she came back with this question that said, she calls me E. E, are you saying that people don't need steps, that they could deviate from steps when they're dealing with the practice? And my response was absolutely, yeah, of course. So, not only is she the smartest person that I know, she is also a person that knows what she wants. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world to realize when something is enough, or when the steps that you're doing to achieve something are no longer serving you. Or let's just say you've implemented steps into something so long that you were just able to operate without doing those steps. Okay. So in this conversation with her and I, she was saying, I wanted to be fair. I wanted to be just. I wanted to make sure that I gave him a fair try and all these other things. And while I absolutely think that that's, honorable, respectful, and, full of heart, there's a price to that. Everything's connected. So while she, gave him a full try, it came at the cost of her happiness. And now, you know, ending things are not going too well. All right. And then so after this conversation, she accepted the fact that there's a possibility that she doesn't need these steps, these three steps to give everybody a try. And so I was thinking about that, and some things that I do in terms of steps and some things that I don't do in terms of steps. And you could think of things that you do with steps, or think about something that you used to do. You used to have to follow these steps. I had to brush my teeth, comb my hair, tie my shoes. I remember when I was younger, there was like a checklist that I had to do, getting ready in the morning to make sure, I could assert my independence to where my parents didn't have to help me out. I was in kindergarten. I wanted to do my own hygienic things. And after a couple months, maybe like 6 months into the first year, I didn't need those steps anymore. I was brushing my teeth, combing my hair, washing my face, tying my shoes without it. So tying this to adulthood, when I started making online e-learning equipment on Udemy, doing the law of attraction, doing law of assumption, doing law of compensation, and even my AI and HR, last year I had steps to help me get on camera so that I can teach. Because when I was doing the trial, and we would look back at the videos, me and my mentor, it it was like weird. And so the steps that I used to do are actually right over there. I have it on the wall. So whenever I would go to teach online, I could prep myself by my lessons learned. So I have like really big eyes and they're really expressive. And, I used to have the deer in the headlights look all the time because I would be reading transcripts, I would be reading people's names, and I would just look surprised and even demonic. Well, the steps that I have, let me get it off the wall because I want to share it with you. I don't do them anymore. All right, so the steps that I have for video production and e-learning is relax your face. So I would do this before I would go live. I would relax my face, so I'm not having like Irvin eyes. And then I would just say to myself, soft and abundant, because that's the vibe that I want to give. I want to come across soft, not like hardcore, because that's not like the teaching style that I like to do. Come across soft and give off the effect or the vibration of abundance. I would pause because I need to reset and reflect. And when I say something, pause, let other people reset and reflect. And the fourth step, because these are all steps, the fourth step was know the start, the close, and know my content because it'll make me very comfortable when I'm teaching. And the last thing was assume the state of the wish fulfilled, meaning if I see myself being funny, I visualize myself funny, and then I come across funny. If I'm serious, I see myself in the state of serious, even before I get dressed, because it all reflects. And then the tip that I have, just in case it was like a bad day or I was like, earth was earthing, the tip is you only have to say it. You don't have to believe it. And this is something that I was doing since last year. And since I was looking at that tip, you don't have to say, you don't have to believe it, it did remind me of some steps that I do every single day. See, I didn't need that anymore. After 6 months of teaching online, doing e-learning, I was able to just get on and those things would automatically happen. It came a part of my beat, it came a part of my vibration. All right. So, but what about some things that you do need? So, for example, in terms of like vision boards, like you can see mine behind me. I remember watching an interview where Oprah says she doesn't need vision boards, so she doesn't do it. My brother does vision board party every year, and he needs it. I need to journal, so that's what I do. So we do what we need. But last year, I watched a video from someone named Amy Westmoreland, Illuminating Joy on YouTube, and she had steps for manifesting. And I watched it and I was just wowed. And I started doing it. And I'll share with you why I was wowed and why I do these steps every single day. These are manifesting tips. Now, this is what's actually on my mirror when I get ready in the morning. So I see this and I go through this. And every time I go to the bathroom, I actually run through this about things that I do want. So the manifesting tip that I'm sharing from Amy Westmoreland, Illuminating Joy on YouTube, is step number one: focus on your desire. Focus on your desire. Think about what you do want. What do you want? I want $1 million. That's what I want. What do you want? You want $1 million? You want a new job? You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? I don't know. But you think about what you do want. And I wasn't doing that before. I have scatterbrain, my brain's everywhere. So this helps me find my intention on what I do want. Because if you say, I don't want something, like I don't want a bad boss, I don't want a bad boss, I don't want a bad boss, the subject to your brain, to the universe, is bad boss. So what's reflecting back to you is bad boss, not that I don't want a bad boss. You say what you do want, not what you don't want. So instead of saying, I don't want a bad boss, you say, I want a good boss. I want a boss that's going to treat me good and going to give me promotions and increases and all that good stuff. So the second step is, can it happen? Meaning, not can you fly, meaning not can a shark come out of the toilet and bite your enemy in the rear, meaning you said you wanted to be rich. Is that possible? Sure. It's a matter of lottery. It's a matter of, striking it with the law of compensation. So the things that you do want, you'll say, is it possible? Is it possible to get a good boss? Yeah, I'm not asking to fly. I'm not asking to be a doctor tomorrow and skip all these steps of medical school and all this, that. It's totally possible. So you want to be realistic with this because the universe is literal. Can it happen? Yes. Okay, check. These are easy steps. And this is a part that I love. And what makes me do this every single day is releasing resistance. Resistance is a blockage and you're supposed to be in flow. So if you're not in flow, there's a blockage, and that blockage is resistance. You're either in flow or you have resistance. In flow is things are coming to you, resistance means there's blockage. And I've had a problem with resistance because I don't know why, I just did. So with this, every other influencer said you have to believe. You have to believe. And I just couldn't believe, and I just couldn't get the emotions. But with this, you just simply have to say, to release resistance in this 4-step process of manifesting what you do want, is you just simply say, I have resistance and I'll still get what I want. And the reason why you don't have to believe it is because it becomes a habit. You say it every day. I see it on the mirror every day. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to have emotions in the beginning. After a while, it becomes a beat. And after a while, it just becomes habit. And then so eventually, by inertia alone, I start to believe it. Okay. Which is why I love that. You don't have to worry about the emotions. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to do all of that. You just have to say, I have resistance and I'll still get what I want. And the 4th step is detach. You let go of the how and the when. You let go of the how and the when, but then you would think, well, how do I let go of the how and the when? Well, here's how you let go of the how and the when. Let's just say you want a good boss. So then you are pursuing a good boss. You're not worrying how the good boss comes. You're not worried when the good boss comes. I want $1 million. Let's just say I want $1 million. I'm not concerned with the way it's going to happen, because if my way was going to work, it would have worked by now. So I'm not worried how the $1 million comes or when. I just pursue it, and life is going to bring what's supposed to come to me. All right. It doesn't matter if it's magic or if it's just a network connection that help you out. If it happens, it happens. That means you manifested it. And so these are just the 4 little steps that I do every single day. And I've had really great results with focusing and driving to where I do want to be. All right. So the whole point of this video is to let you know, is to put into your mind, whenever you're doing steps, ask yourself, do I need to do these steps? What's best for me? And I do that because I enjoy it. And it does help. It does help me get in that rhythm. So assess the steps and ask yourself, are these steps ordered? And that's something only you can answer, and just go about it. So that's what I got for you today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.